What's up guys, this is John with Skate Better, and today we are doing the primitive deck setup. So I'm pretty stoked on this deck. I thought it looked really cool, and I also love Spencer Hamilton. He's one of my favorite skaters. I just love his style, the way he does tricks. So I figured I would give Primitive a try. They have a lot of really good skaters on their team right now, and I wanted to see what all the hype was about. So, which is also weird because from my personal experience, I see a lot of younger kids riding Primitive decks, but they also just have sick graphics. So I feel like maybe people get into it for their graphics. I think it's owned by P-Rod, but who cares? At the end of the day, as long as the deck performs well, that's all I really care about. And obviously, you want to look down and see something that you like. And I like this. I think it looks cool. I love the gold inlay or whatever paint they use. I think it's pretty sick. This deck measures 8.375 by 31.925. So it's basically 8.375 by 32, essentially, if we're not going to split hairs. And the wheelbase is 14.2, which is a very, very small wheelbase, figuratively, or comparatively. So most wheelbases that I ride are 14 and a half, maybe even 14 and a quarter, I think is the lowest I had. So the Toy Machine was a 14 and a quarter. Last deck I had was 14 and a half, was the Anti-Hero. This one's 14.2. So it's the tiniest bit less than the Toy Machine. And I put Thunders on the Toy Machine, and I really, really liked it. It didn't work great with Indies, but it worked well with Thunders. So I'm gonna ride Thunders on these and see what happens. So always wanted to try Primitive. I would say this deck has a decent amount of concave. So as you can see, it's not as much as the Zero, but it's a little bit more than the Anti-Hero. So it's average. I would say this is if average was a 5, this is a 6.5, I would say concave. Even a little bit, almost a 7, I would give it, a solid 7. Because it does have a decent amount of pitch here. And the other thing that I thought was really different was it has a really blunted tail, and then it also has a really blunted nose. So I wanted to try that because the Anti-Hero and the Girl deck both had more of a blunted nose and tail, and I really enjoyed skating those decks for those reasons. So this one has a little bit more concave like the Zero, a little bit more blunted tail, a slightly less wheelbase, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So we'll get to setting this thing up and we'll see what happens. Alright, so grip tape for this deck. I'm going to try Mob M80, and I've been working with Shake Jump for a while, and I really like it, and I have a feeling I'm going to go back. But I also didn't mind Mob. The only thing I didn't like about Mob on the Zero was that it just felt really, really grippy, and it kind of destroyed my shoes at first. And it almost felt too grippy. So this is the Mob M80, which means that it's a little bit less grippy than regular Mob. And it was free, and it came with a deck. So I was like, whatever, I might as well try it, I'm like, it's a new thing, I'll let you guys know what I think of it. But yeah, so we're gonna get this peeled and then we'll get started. All right, so the cool thing is there's no graphics, so there's no front or back. So I can literally just put it on and we should be good to go. So I always like to just put my fingers in the middle, line up the edges. You guys can watch any of my videos before to kind of see how I like to do it. And then, obviously if you find a way that works, you usually keep doing it that way. So I like to make sure I just have a little bit of overhang, and then I press down from the middle, make my way out to the edges, and we're good. So Mob has bubbles in it, or little holes, or I'm sorry, not bubbles, you don't want bubbles. Mob has little holes perforated in the grip, so you don't have to worry about bubbles. So I'm gonna get this all pressed out, looking real nice, and then we'll cut our grip out. So this next step's gonna be a little noisy, but I'm just gonna outline the edges and just kind of rub this around the edge of the grip tape so I have a nice little tracing line to trace with. So please excuse the noise. I'll probably even fast forward it, but here we go. All right, that's done. So now you can see we have our outline. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I definitely think it makes it a little bit easier to cut when you do that. So now I'm gonna make my little slit right here, right where the pitch is, and the concave kind of gets really gnarly. And then we're just gonna cut it out. So I always give my little tip is to, you always want the blade not facing straight up like this. You want it laying nice and flat like that. So I don't know if you guys can see that. But you don't wanna cut like this. You wanna cut like this, nice and flat, okay? That's gonna give you the cleanest cut and the quickest cut. So we're gonna get this cut out and then we'll keep going. So last little reminder, you want your grip tape laying nice and flat like this. So you don't want it folded down. You want it nice and upright, nice and flat, so that it's easier to cut. So now that that's done, we're going to take our wad of grip tape and just kind of sand down the edges, because it just helps make it a little bit smoother and really like set into the edge of the deck, so you don't get like weird fraying or things that happen while you're skating. Alright, so I say this in a lot of my videos, but just remember, if you mess up the edge of the grip tape or something, or you have like a little imperfection, this is actually looking pretty smooth. I think I had like one little mess up over here or whatever, but don't worry about it. It's going to come out when you start skating or get completely ruined anyway, so, you know, it's all good. Alright, so now we're going to get ready to put our trucks on. So I like to take just a regular bolt and just punch it through all the sides from the bottom, or all the holes from the bottom, and then punch it once again through from the top. So it kind of gets rid of that weird little excess grip tape that you end up with. And yeah, we're gonna get this done and move on. Now we have our trucks and our hardware. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really didn't feel like switching out anything really from this setup. I really like it. I'll do a review on these Bones Big Balls that I'm. So anyways, I apologize, my phone died in the middle of making that last little clip, but I was basically saying I'm not going to change anything about the truck setup. So I got the Thunder trucks, I'm still rocking the 52 conical Spitfires, and I have the Big Balls bearings, which I'll do a review on soon. So yep, sorry about that, but I basically put everything on the exact same way. I did want to make a note about the wheels, and something I just learned is you should rotate your wheels. So if you have 4 wheels, you should take the back right, put it to the front left, back up to the front right. And it's really important. I actually didn't realize I power slide a lot, and by power sliding, my back 2 wheels were like 1 millimeter shorter than my front, or smaller than my front, and that could definitely make a difference. So rotate your wheels. That's the advice I got, and let's finish the video. All right, guys. So we're all set up and ready to go. We got our Thunder trucks on, our 52 or soon to be 51, if not already, millimeter wheels. We got the Bones Big Balls. We got our Diamond Hardware, and of course we have our Spencer Hamilton primitive deck. And last but not least, our Mob M80 grip, which we're gonna try. So can't wait to skate this thing. It feels light. It feels super fun. And yeah, I'll let you guys know what I think after I get some time to skate it. If you do like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.